Hello, it's good to see you. Today we are here celebrating my 4-year Channel-Versary, which is really exciting. I can't believe it's been 4 years. But yeah, July 15th, 2015 was the day I made my first video, which is really cool. So, of course, to celebrate, like I think I did this last year, I just got back from Biscuitville and I have some good stuff in here. And this is really cool for me because I don't believe I have eaten at Biscuitville since we did this last time. I've been to Biscuitville since then, but I don't get anything. My older son likes Biscuitville, so sometimes if we're out and about and he wants something to eat, I would run through the drive-thru and get him a biscuit or something, but I don't get anything, so this is really cool for me. I'm very excited. I have my Biscuitville Pepsi, which I never drink regular Pepsi ever, except from Biscuitville. There's something about the way they make it. It is the best I have ever had. It's mixed just right, and it's really good. So what do we have to eat today? Let's see. Same thing I always get. But I got something extra. Now, I did get hash browns, which are really good. There. And my extra thing I got were fries. They have these fries. Look at these things. They're like potato wedges. Oh, they're so good. I never eat stuff like this. This is so awesome. I figured though with it being a special occasion I would treat myself a little bit. And then, of course, you have your entree right here. Oh, it's pretty too. Ooh, chicken biscuit. Look at that big thing. Oh, golly. That is wonderful. That is so good. Yeah, it could be that I've had Biscuitville in a year, but if I do, I don't remember it right now. But anyway, this right here is beautiful. Look at how big that chicken is. That piece of chicken. That's awesome. It's good. It's so good. And then you have, this is your hash brown. It's just like a little disc of potato. None of this is good for you. None of it. It's so good. So yeah, it's really good to see you. I have to say, I have really enjoyed the last 4 years. I have made over 1,800 videos in the last 4 years. That's more than one a day, every day, for the entire 4 years. It's crazy. Now, my fear when I started, one of the things, when I decided I really wanted to do this, one of my biggest concerns was that I wouldn't have enough ideas to keep it going. Like, okay, yeah, I can think of some stuff to make videos about, but what am I going to do after that? That has not been a problem. I have a lot of ideas that I haven't even had time to get to yet. I haven't even had time to really think about them that much. I mean, I want to do them, but I just haven't had time to do them. Oh my God, that is so good. Like, I just can't tell you. I like Biscuitville because their biscuits are not super greasy. A lot of fast food biscuits are just, they fall apart and they're greasy and they're just not good. Not this. These are great. There's a crow in my backyard. So yeah, this blows my carb allotment for the day and then some quite a bit. Got my shirt. I got it several weeks ago. Planning for today. So I was thinking about all the things in my life that have changed in the last 4 years. I've moved twice. I've gotten divorced. Bought this place. I have 2 vehicles now, which is still kind of weird. I've worked a lot. Lost my job that I had for most of my adult life. These potatoes are good. I like these because they're seasoned, but they don't go overboard with it. A lot of times when you get things like this, little tater wedges, they have so much seasoning on them, they're just, you'll choke trying to eat them. But these aren't like that. And they're just crunchy enough on the outside, but they're tender inside. Biscuitville was really crowded this morning. I couldn't believe it. There were a ton of people there. Oh, that is so good. That is so good. I don't even like regular Pepsi, and this is so good. Southern to a T. At Biscuitville, we're proud to serve authentic Southern food made fresh every day. And nothing is more authentically Southern than freshly brewed sweet tea. Here's to sipping Southern. Well, I'm not drinking tea. Their tea is good, though. They try to use local ingredients whenever possible, which is really nice, down to even the flour and stuff that they use in their biscuits. In fact, if you go to biscuitville.com, they have a store, which is where I got this shirt. Even the shirt, now I can't speak for everything in their store, but the shirts are made from 100% locally grown cotton. They're made right here in the Carolinas, either North Carolina or South Carolina. It's 100% Carolina grown and made, which I thought was pretty cool. This is so cool. So what's coming up? Well, let me see. Of course, we're going to have back to school stuff before you know it. It's crazy. In the stores already, they're putting out back to school stuff. I mean, you know, like the day after Independence Day, they're putting out stuff for fall, which is like, let me enjoy the summer a little bit, for heaven's sake. I mean, I would hate it if I were a teacher and they're already putting out back to school stuff and it's the middle of July, for heaven's sake. Of course, I kind of understand it in a way. A lot of kids around here do the year-round school thing, so they're not out all summer, so they are starting back to school. I mean, well, I'm not sure when they start back, but they don't get a long break in the summer. But then again, they get breaks throughout the year, and they just go year-round. So, I mean, you know, they need school supplies, so I get it. Yeah, their summer break is a lot shorter than ours. One little bite left. It's like the corner brownie. So, Evie's out on the back patio meowing at me. She keeps going in and out of the house, and now she wants to come back in. It's been a pretty uneventful summer for the most part so far. It's just typical summer chaos. You know, if you have kids that are school age, you know, no 2 weeks are the same all summer. It's something different all the time. That's the way it's been around here. It's hard to plan around that. Yeah, it's you know, when they get back in school, you have your routine, and you know, it's basically the same week in and week out. And the summer is just like this free for all. It's just ridiculous. My younger son is going to this it's like a day camp kind of thing, and they do something different every day, which sounded great at first. When I first looked into taking him there, I thought, oh, this is wonderful. They take a field trip pretty much every single day. They go Monday through Friday. They go somewhere almost every day. And it sounds great in theory, but in practice, it's a nightmare. It's like, you know, before he started, it was kind of, they go somewhere every day. And now it's like, they go somewhere every day. Oh my God, because there are certain shirts they have to wear depending on what they're doing. Okay, you have to make sure they're wearing the right shirt. If they're not wearing the right shirt, they're going to yell at you when you go to drop them off. That's what I've run into. They don't literally yell at you, but I come out of there feeling like a loser. Like, I can't keep up with the shirt thing. And you have to know where they're going every day, because that determines when they're going to get back. But that changes too. They may get back at 4:30. They may get back at 2. You don't know when they're getting back. You have to keep up with it every single day. And on some field trips, you're going to have to put sunscreen on them. Some field trips, they need to wear comfortable shoes. Some field trips, they're going to need flip-flops. It's like every trip it's something else. There was one trip they took last week where they had to have a bag lunch. And I read the monitor wrong the day before. I thought it said, don't bring your lunch. I read it wrong. I was in a hurry. I just kind of skimmed it. Well, he didn't have his lunch. And they fussed at me like, well, where's his lunch? I'm thinking, okay, well, what I'm paying for him to come here, why do I have to bring lunch? And why on this particular field trip do you not provide lunch? That's weird. I still don't get why on this one trip they took, no, we don't provide lunch that day. You have to bring their lunch. Why? Because there are tons of other field trips where they go and they're gone all day and they provide lunch. But on this one, they don't. It's really weird. It's kind of like the way I describe it. It's like if you've ever had a kid in school and they do that spirit week thing or the say no to drugs week, where every day they have to either wear like a weird hairstyle or tacky clothes or dress up as their favorite hero or whatever. And every day you have to figure out, oh God, what do we have to do tomorrow? Oh my goodness, I got to go get this. I got to make sure you have that. It's like that, but all summer. All summer. Every stinking day. So, it's awful. I couldn't bring myself to say that until this past week. I think I finally admitted to myself it was awful the day they went on that field trip where they had to have a lunch. And you had to have them dropped off before 7:30 a.m. So we were there at like 10 after 7. And that's when I found out, oh, he needs a lunch. Well, crap. I didn't bring anything. So I was panicking, like, oh crap, what am I going to do? He's not going to have any. They said, well, he's not going to be able to eat. He won't have any food. And I'm thinking, the place they went to had food. And I said, can I just give him some money to buy lunch? No, we're not doing that. Okay. What is open at 10 after 7 in the morning? And we're nowhere near the house. This place is a good 30 minutes from my house. So I couldn't just pop back home and get something because they were leaving at 7:30. So fortunately, I found a Food Line that was open not too far away, and I ran in there, and I didn't know what to get. I just grabbed a couple of the Lunchables because I didn't know what else. I thought I need something quick and convenient. I never buy those things, but he got a Lunchable. That I wanted a Lunchable and a Snackable. I thought maybe these two together will be enough to feed him. I don't know. I mean, so by the time I raced back to get the lunch there, by the time I left, I felt like I had been through the ringer. I don't know why, but I felt so bad. Like I really messed up. I can't believe it. I remembered the right shirt, put sunblock on him, made sure he had comfortable shoes, and something. Oh, he had to have concession money. He wanted concession money. I remembered to drop that off, but I misunderstood the thing about the lunch. And that is the way it is pretty much every day that I drop him off, and it's stressing me out. And honestly, I will be glad when it's over. I didn't really think it through. Look at the cute little car cup they give you for the fries. Sometimes when I'm dropping them off or picking them up, I kind of try to catch the eye of the other parents coming and going like, does this suck for you as much as it does for me? Do you feel like a failure? Are you able to keep up with this stuff every day? I mean, because I still have to go to work. I still have other things to keep up with. But now, added on that, I have all these things that I have to remember to make sure every day, do this, 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 make sure he wears this shirt, make sure, it's just, oh my God. That is definitely a first world problem, but it's really annoying. So I've been dealing with that now for about a month, almost a month. But it would all be worth it if my son actually enjoyed these field trips. Notice I said if. Most of the time I pick him up and he will, something went wrong, or it didn't work out like it was supposed to, or they promised the kids they would be able to do this and then they weren't able to do it. And so far it's been kind of meh. It's not been anything he's enjoyed a whole lot. But I'm enjoying this biscuit. Look at that beautiful thing. The biscuit is so fluffy. It is so soft and fluffy. They use shortening in it. So I'm going to die of a heart attack probably before lunchtime today. But what a way to go. So what else have I been doing? Well, there's kind of a weird thing I did last week, okay? Try to keep an open mind about this. It's going to sound bizarre, I know, because if you had told me I would actually do this, I would have said, 2 years ago, I would have said, did I really do that? Yes, I did. Okay, last Thursday, I went down, I spent most of the day in Charlotte on Thursday this past week, like a couple, 3 days ago? Yeah, 3 days ago, 4 days ago. I spent all day in Charlotte doing past life regression hypnosis. It was crazy. This all started several months ago, and this is always something I've kind of wanted to try. I've thought about it. It's kind of been in the back of my mind, like, I wonder what it would be like to find out about, if you've had past lives or anything like that. That'd be really interesting. And went into it with a totally open mind, I thought, about it. I first discovered it a couple of months ago. I was just scrolling through YouTube, and this video with this older lady on it popped up, and I looked at it like, well, who's that? It was some lady I'd never heard of. And it was in my recommended, and I'm not sure why it was there. Like, I hadn't been watching anything that would make them recommend this to me. But it just came out of nowhere. This lady named Dolores Cannon. And it was one of her videos. And she passed away about 4 years ago. But there are a lot of videos on YouTube from Dolores Cannon. Dolores Cannon. And she did past life regression hypnosis for she spent about 40 years doing this kind of thing for people, and traveled all over the world, would speak all over the world on the subject. She wrote bunches of books. She wrote like 17 books on the subject. I'd never heard of this woman. And I scrolled past the video. I didn't watch it. But Dolores kept popping up in my recommended, and I still don't know why. It's like I could not get away from this woman. She was always in my recommended. So finally one day I said, okay, fine. Let's just watch this. Let's see what this is. And she was talking about past life regression. And she was talking about not life after death, but your life, but what happens to you before you're born. It's like death before life or something like that. It doesn't talk about what happens after you die. It talks about, and it's something that people never think about. You wonder what's going to happen to you when you die, but you don't think so much about where were you before you were born. I think that's just as interesting. And she was talking about that. And where are you before you're born? What are you before you're born? And it was fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. Some of the stuff does sound kind of out there. But, again, try to keep an open mind about it. I'm sitting here watching it, and a lot of what she said really resonated with me. I thought, you know what? That makes sense. That actually, I get that. I get that. That's kind of how I feel about it. I mean, we don't know for sure what happens or where we were or what we were doing, but you know what? A lot of what she said made sense to me. And so I watched some more of her videos on there. There's a ton of them on YouTube. I spent quite a bit of time watching her stuff. And I like to learn about all kinds of different things. I'm always reading or watching videos about different topics. I like to learn about everything. I want to know about everything. There's no topic off limits. I want to learn about everything. Doesn't matter. Anything. So I was really interested. I was really into that for quite a while. And I started thinking, you know what? I wonder if there's anybody around here, because she has trained people to do what she does. And her daughter also is involved in training people. She also does it. It's QHHT, which I think is Quantum Hypnosis Healing Therapy or something like QHHT. Her daughter also works training people to do this. And I thought, I wonder if there's anybody around here who does that. That might be kind of an interesting thing to try. Why not? Let's check it out. So I went to their website, and there they have listed by state the people who do it. And there are quite a few in North Carolina, but there aren't any in the Greensboro area. There are a ton of them in Asheville and in the Raleigh area. And there are some in Charlotte, but there aren't really any in the Greensboro area. So that was kind of a bummer. So I forgot about it for a while. And I didn't see any more of Dolores' videos for a while either. They didn't pop up in my recommended, but then they started popping up again. They started coming up again. And I watched a few more, and I started thinking about it again. And I went back to their website. And I thought, okay, let's find somebody. Let's talk. Let's just talk to somebody about it. You know, why not? So I found someone down in Charlotte who does it, and I talked to her. I talked to her by phone for about 45 minutes one day, and I decided I wanted to try it. I thought, you know what, this feels like something I kind of want to do. I want to see what this is about. Why not, you know? So I made an appointment and went down there. That's some good chicken. So I went down there. Now she told me, she said, no, when I schedule one of these, that is all I do that day. It's going to take, it's like an all day thing. She said, you're going to be here for 4 to 6 hours. So you need to plan accordingly. And I ended up being there for 7 hours on Thursday. I was there, and with traffic, it takes over 2 hours just to get down to where she is. And she's kind of south of Charlotte. And I got caught up in that god-awful Charlotte traffic, and it reminds me all over again why I don't live down there. It's terrible. Yeah, 7 hours. It was fascinating. Oh my God. I don't think I can finish that biscuit. I'm full. It was absolutely fascinating, let me tell you. Now, again, I keep thinking I was really nervous going down there, but I kept thinking, okay, keep an open mind about it. Don't have any preconceived notions about how this is going to go. You want to just stay open to whatever. Okay. It didn't go the way I thought it would. I didn't realize that wasn't what I expected. It really wasn't. Now, I've never been hypnotized before. Never. I've never done any kind of hypnosis of any sort. So I wasn't quite sure what to expect. But for the biggest chunk of the time you're there, she is asking you questions about your life, your family, any health problems you have or have ever had. She has a lot of questions for you. And a lot of the questions at the time are like, why do you need to know that? But you realize as you go through it, okay, that's why she was asking about that. I get that. So it was really emotional. I wasn't really expecting that, but it was a very emotional experience because, she asks about your relationship with your parents, your children, any kind of difficult experiences you've had in your life, and you talk about all that. So I had a lot to talk about, and I just different things that I've gone through in my life, and hang on, I gotta let my cat in. It's a little too hot for her out there. She was sitting by the sliding door panting at me, so I had to let her in, poor thing. Oh, no, she's fine. So you do spend most of the time talking about your life. I mean, it's like sitting with a therapist, and you go into quite a bit of detail also about your health problems, any physical issues that you have currently, any surgeries you've ever had, any other any major health issues you've ever had in your life. The theory behind a lot of this, hang on, I have to savor that. So good. The theory behind this is the physical problems that you have are created by your own body to try to give you a message about something. It's trying to communicate with you about an issue that you have not dealt with. I know a lot of people are going to laugh about that, but I think there's something to it. I think your body is trying to tell you something. And if you can figure out what it is, you can heal the problem. You can work on addressing that problem. Again, keep an open mind. I know there are a lot of people out there that absolutely don't believe in that kind of stuff. And that's fine, We talked about some of the problems I have, and I have quite a few issues that have popped up for me just in the last 3 years. And it kind of coincides with something I discovered about 3 years ago. I'm not going to go into detail, but there are some things in my own life that I need to do differently, and I learned about those things. And I can tell you just from discovering a few things about myself that I discovered on Thursday, I've had trouble with my big toes, and we talked about that. I have lost most of the flexibility in my toes, and it's very painful to walk. Since we talked about that, my toes, they don't hurt like they did. I can actually wear heels again. I wore heels yesterday for a little bit just to see if it hurt. It didn't hurt. That's the first time I've been able to do that without any pain in over 2 years. So maybe it is all in my head, but that was real. That was something real. We also talked about a few other issues I've had, and I know what I need to do to address those issues. There are some things I need to do differently with some people in my life, and I'm going to start working on that. But so we go through that, and then we did the past life regression. There's a huge woodpecker on my bird feeder. That thing is like that big. Oh my! It's like a prehistoric beast. I wish I could show you, but it's hanging. There's a suet block, and he's. So, I'm sorry. It's totally unrelated, but it's crazy how big that woodpecker is. He's massive. The bird feeder's doing like this because he's weighing it down. Sorry. So you spend a lot of time talking about your health problems, and that was talking about my past with my family was difficult because I kind of grew up in a dysfunctional home. And we really went into detail about that. That was kind of hard to talk about, but we did it anyway. And so then you do a couple of practice runs with, here's the technique that we're going to use for the hypnosis session. I just want you to get an idea of what it's going to be like. It would be great ASMR. I thought about that at the time. I didn't get ASMR from it because you're focusing on, what she's saying, and, it's not the right environment for that, but you could totally use that in an ASMR video. But we did the practice runs, and then we did it for real. And you lay back, you get nice and comfortable, you lay back, and you have a light blanket on you. And she's sitting right beside where you're lying down. And she makes an audio recording of it and also a video that she sends you after it's over. So, because part of the process is you have to go back and watch it at least 3 times. You need to go back and listen to it or watch it. Because I don't remember everything we talked about. You're not out of it. You're aware of what's going on. I don't know how to describe it. It's almost like you're talking, but it's not you who's talking. And you can even hear it on the audio that my voice sounds totally different at different times. It's like a completely different person is talking. It's really weird. I'm not allowed to put any of that on YouTube because it's considered it's copyrighted material. It's hers. And she may use it, and she has a website. She may use it in the future, but the agreement you sign says, you're not going to publish this stuff anywhere. So I don't think I'd share it anyway. A lot of it's kind of personal, and I don't think I need to do that anyway, but, we regressed back to 2 of my former lives. It was so interesting. I don't remember all the details of that. I'm going to have to go back and watch the video or listen to it. The first one we went back to, I'm not sure what the time period was, but I was a man named Thomas who lived in a very secluded rural area. I'm thinking it was somewhere near Greensboro. But we lived out in the woods. We had this little 1-room house out in the woods, and we didn't have much money, and I was having a hard time finding work. I worked in logging. I helped with logging, and I also worked in a mill, a lumber mill kind of thing. And but I had a hard time finding work. and I was married, and I had 3 kids. And we didn't have any transportation of any sort, but we were able to come to Greensboro. Someone brought us to Greensboro. I don't know who, but I said that. We didn't. Somebody brought us here. We came here with somebody else. And I don't know what kind of festival it was, but I was in Greensboro, and the streets weren't even paved. They were dirt roads. It was just dirt. It was like packed down dirt. But I knew right away where I was. I was in Greensboro. I knew that. I knew it. I could literally look around and see the buildings that were there. It wasn't anything like it is now. But I knew where I was. Because one of my questions that I had during the session was, why do I feel so comfortable here? Why am I drawn to this place more so than anywhere I've ever been? I don't know if it goes back to that, but one of the things that Thomas said, because she asked him to describe the place, describe how you're feeling right now, and he said, this is the best place I've ever seen. I've never seen anything like this. He said that 2 or 3 times. I've never seen anything like this. He was fascinated by it. And he said, I wish I could live here. I wish I could come here and I wish my family and I could live here. This is the best thing I've ever seen. He was just blown away, like he had never seen anything like that before. I did find out that in the vast majority of my previous lives, I lived in very small villages, just very small remote areas. Didn't spend a lot of time in larger cities or towns. It was mostly in remote areas. The second time, so we went through a couple of significant moments in Thomas's life. He passed away in the home, I believe, of one of his children of basically old age. And he had a very hard life. He lost his wife pretty young. She died in childbirth with their 4th child. They had 2 boys and a girl, and she died in childbirth very young. I don't know that he ever remarried. That didn't come up. But the second life that we visited from this point was a girl. She wasn't old. She was a young woman. And the first time we see her, she is in some sort of hospital. It looked like a hospital. But it was some kind of a facility of some sort. And she was there against her will. She was put there. She didn't want to be there. Her name was Carrie. And we went back a little bit further to try to figure out how she got there. Her mother, come to find out, her mother was extremely abusive, and her mother hated her because she had a tumultuous marriage. She had a bad marriage where her husband traveled and was gone a lot. And when Carrie's mother found out she was pregnant with her, he left and never came back. And her mother blamed Carrie her whole life for making him decide to leave. She felt like it was Carrie's fault. So she was absolutely vicious to this little girl. I mean, was just physically abusive, verbally abusive. And Carrie was an overweight child. She I guess ate to deal with the stress of living with somebody like that, and she became very, very obese. And her mother put her in this facility. I still don't know what it was like. Maybe it was a group home, or it was some sort of facility. I don't know. But had her put in this home, and she died there. I don't know how long she lived, but she didn't make it too long in that place. I don't know if she ended her life or if she had physical issues. I'm not sure. But she passed away in that facility. Pretty young. That was weird. Okay. So we wanted to find out why I saw those 2 labs in particular, because we also found out that I've lived a bunch of lives. I go way back. That's what we heard. I go way back. I've been here bunches of times, and I have lived lives with people over and over. I've spent multiple lives living around the same people. And my mother was one of those people. And my mother and I did this. In the video, I do it like this. We have this relationship. We have a very tumultuous, combative relationship. Apparently, we don't like each other. We don't get along. My mother and I, her spirit and my spirit don't get along. But we keep coming back together because even though we don't get along, somehow we still learn things together. We learn lessons when we're in each other's lives, even though we don't like each other very much. That's really weird. My older son has also been in my life. He was one of my sons when I was Thomas. And he was very serious. I remember I can see his face. He was very serious. Very serious little boy. He was worried because when he was younger, we didn't have any money, and I was having a hard time finding work, and he wanted to go help, but he was too little to help. Very serious little boy. But it was him. It was my older son. I knew it as soon as I saw him. I said, I know who that is. Because when you're under hypnosis, you look in the faces of people in your life. You look in their faces and see who they are. I knew who my wife was. My wife was also someone else who's been a part of my life. It was fascinating. I know who Carrie's mother was. Yeah, I knew her as soon as I looked in her face. I said, I know exactly who that is. I've dealt with this person before. You could come back as a man or a woman. You know, different parts of the world. You could be anywhere. I don't know where Carrie was. I couldn't quite figure out where she was. It was a much later time than Thomas, though. It was much more current. So I know this all sounds crazy, but it was the most fascinating experience. Oh my God. But like I said, I was there for 7 hours. I also have to give a message to someone in my life. I'm not going to say who. And this was on the recording as well. I'm supposed to tell someone in my life that they have not. We're all here to learn lessons. That's one of the things they say, is that we all come to Earth to learn something, and we set up our lives ahead of time in such a way that we can hopefully learn what we want to learn. We need to learn more about something. So we set our lives up in a way to help us hopefully do that. I'm supposed to give someone a message. I don't want to do it because I've already been told they're not going to take it well. I'm supposed to tell someone in my life that they did not learn their lesson that they came here to learn. They were supposed to learn it long ago. Like this, their path was supposed to go this way. Well, a long time ago, they veered off here. And they have not learned what they were here to learn. They were here to learn one thing. I don't know what it is, but there was something they were here to learn. They didn't learn it, and they're going to have to come back and do it again. The circumstances may not be the same, but they're going to have to come back and try again. For me, this is my second try learning something in particular that I did not learn as Carrie. Carrie did not get from her situation what she was supposed to, and that's why I'm back now to try to learn what she didn't get. And I did learn that I'm on the right track, but I need to keep going, and I need to take a break more often. I was told that I need to calm down a little bit, settle down, just relax and breathe, and learn to take better care of myself. My life is not in balance. I need to work on bringing it back into balance. And I also have to give a message to one more person. But yeah, the person who didn't learn their lesson, I was told when you tell them this, they're probably not going to take it very well. They may get mad at you, and you need to be ready for that. Because when you tell them that, they're going to get upset, more than likely. And They may tell you to leave the house. They may tell you to get out. So apparently I'm supposed to tell them at their house, but they said they may tell you to leave the house. And you just got to be ready for that. I don't want to do it, but I guess I will. The second person, I'm supposed to tell them not to be so serious. You need to learn to enjoy life. You're not enjoying life enough. You take everything so seriously. You need to learn to enjoy it more. Lighten up, in a sense. Now, I don't think that'd be too hard to tell somebody. But the person I need to tell that to, it's really weird because they're not a serious person. So I'm not sure that if I were to describe this person, I wouldn't say they were too serious. So, but I'll tell them anyway. And it was a really interesting experience. I was under hypnosis for 2.5 hours, and there's a lot of information there. I mean, that's just some of the stuff that we talked about. That's some of the stuff we explored. It was really interesting. It's like you can hear yourself talking, but it's not really you that's saying it. It's weird. And very emotional. It's extremely emotional. Well, it was for me. But she said, it's different for everybody. I mean, no two people have the same experience. Some people don't have this kind of reaction to it. Some people do. Some people, when they talk about their past lives, are elated. They're bubbling over with joy. My past lives had a lot of sadness and anger in them. And I felt really bad for both Thomas and Carrie because we talked about some stuff that happened to them, and I felt really bad for them. Thomas's life got better though as he got older. Things were better. Carrie's life was just terrible. It was terrible and short. I felt so bad for her. But I'm here to learn what she didn't learn. So, okay, that's what I did last Thursday. And so I'm going to take it for what it's worth. I mean, even if you think it's all a bunch of hubbub, you think it's all a bunch of crap, I still think it wouldn't hurt to try to find a little balance in my life and work on the other goals that I was given to work on. There are things that when I think about it, it's like, yeah, you know what? It probably wouldn't hurt for me to do that. So I'm going to work on achieving those goals anyway, whether it's all crap or not. So it was I'm glad I did it. It was interesting, very interesting. That's about all that's going on right now as far as I know. We're done with vacations for the rest of the summer. It's just getting through the summer now. Evie's laying on the floor. Aw. She's so cute. Other than that, there's not a lot going on. It's been a good summer. But you know what? Coming back to that hypnosis thing, I thought about it on the way. I had over 2 hours driving home to think about all this. And let me tell you, oh God, when it was over, when the hypnosis was over, and I had to sit up, I was so dizzy. I was so incredibly dizzy. And she asked me when it was over, she said, how long do you think that was? And I thought it had only been like an hour. It only felt like it was an hour. And she said, no, it was 2.5. I said, are you serious? Oh my God. I was so dizzy when I got out of there. I had to go sit in my car for a little bit. She had me sit there, she said, you need to ground yourself, feel your feet on the floor. Just take some deep breaths, just take your time. She said that happens to everybody. When you come out of it, you feel really, really kind of wiggy for a little bit. And I felt really, really weird. But yeah, I had the, after I was okay to drive. I mean, it took me a little bit, but I was okay. And on my drive home, I was thinking about it. I've had a really good life. I have. And I'm glad I picked this life. I'm glad that I did. We all choose our lives. I mean, if you believe in this stuff, we all choose our lives. We choose who's in our life. We choose what happens to us. And one of the questions I had to answer during hypnosis was, I had this question beforehand: why in the world have I been through so many weird, bad things? And what I was told, what I said on the tape was, you like the rough spots because they polish you. You're like a pearl. You start out as a little piece of grit, and you have polished yourself into a pearl through the experiences that you chose to go through. I'm like, oh, that's kind of interesting. Kind of, okay. So I picked all this so I could polish myself and, okay, go from a piece of grit to a pearl. That's one way to put it. But I've had a good life. I really have. I've learned that I'm here to work. I'm a worker. I've always enjoyed a good, honest day's work where you can, really, really put forth a lot of effort and see results from your effort. I'm here to work, and I am here to try to make things better for humanity in general. So that was pretty cool. But that's part of what I'm here to do. It is my pleasure to do that. And I'm supposed to just keep doing what I'm doing and try to take a break every now and then, take a little bit better care of myself as far as not pushing myself so hard. I'll try. If nothing else, my toes feel a lot better. I can stand on tiptoe again, which I haven't been able to do in a while without excruciating pain. I can do that now. It's like flipping a switch. It's crazy. So I guess that's the most significant thing that's happened. It's not my typical Channel-Versary discussion. But yeah, I think I've come a long way, not just with this channel, but just with my whole life. And I still really enjoy it. I'm going to keep doing it as long as I enjoy it, and I don't see any end to that. So, but thank you so much for being there with me and being there for me. I know I don't respond as much as I should. I'm really sorry. It's hard sometimes to get to all the messages, and I'm really sorry about that. I try. But if you've sent me a message and I haven't responded, I'm really sorry. I'm not ignoring you. I've just, there's a lot. Just, I don't know. It's hard to get to it all, but I'm trying. But thank you so much for sticking with me and being a part of all this. And for those of you who've been here since basically the beginning, I really appreciate it. I mean, you're just the best. You really are. And I look forward to many more years doing this. So that's about the end of my meal. The Pepsi's watery now. But yeah, thank you again for watching, and I hope you have a great day.